Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today, man, today is one of those freaking days where after, I spent 4 days playing, Starfield, over my 4 day weekend. Didn't really do a lot of, social, gosh dang it, social media like Twitter or anything like that. Didn't watch any YouTube or any of that stuff. And I was kind of, aside from the comments that I got in each video of Starfield that I put up, other than that, I didn't really expose myself to any of what's going on right now. So I wasn't really in the loop. But today is just one of those days, like after reading and seeing so much hate and negativity towards a game like Starfield, it 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 really makes me feel like, dude, is it even worth continuing to try to create content on YouTube for games when it seems like the majority of people just want to trash games and bash games and just be as negative as they can to get clicks? Because like I've said this before, man, it really is the negativity that sells. It's almost like the YouTube algorithm really pushes that stuff and suppresses the positive stuff, man. It's almost like you have to chase negativity to grow, or you have to chase negativity to get views, to get clicks, to get content. And here's the thing, man. Like, I started this channel because I love video gaming. I love gaming. I find peace in it. I find, when I've had a hard day at work, I can come home, I could turn on a video game, and I could just immerse myself in any number of worlds, and just, kind of let all the pressure and stress from the real world just kind of fade away. But now I find myself in a peculiar situation where, as a content creator, I'm forced. I'm not necessarily forced, but I'm encouraged to be negative, so that I can grow on a platform that seemingly just pushes negativity, and I want to be able to create video gaming content, but at the same time I get to a point where like I go out and I do. I mean, I spend a lot of my own money on these products so that I can bring you content. Every now and then I'll get lucky, and like somebody like Camus or, Silk. What was the new thing that they got sent to me? This Silk Land sent me some cables and stuff to test out. Like every now and then I get some free content, that I can make content for, and I greatly appreciate that, and I greatly appreciate the people that come to the channel and watch that. But I invest a significant amount of money buying these products, buying these games, and then I want to bring content for them. But then I find myself in a situation where, like, take Saints Row for instance. Saints Row came out. I bought that game. I paid my own money for that. I spent, a bunch of hours playing that, having fun with that, and just giving people my honest feedback on it. And the hate machine was so strong for Saints Row that it completely damaged that brand so bad that Embracer Group shut Volition down. Like, they're no more. There will not be another Saints Row game in the future. The negativity. And then I listened to that book, Control Freak, from Cliff Bleszinski, about the guy that created Gears of War, and the struggles with Lawbringers and everything else that he tried to bring to the front after that, and just the negativity that went into people playing Lawbreakers, and just how it completely destroyed that game. It just makes me think, it's like, man, I don't want to be one of those people that I don't want to be one of those negative types of people when it comes to gaming. And like, sometimes I'm not perfect. Like, sometimes I find myself creating that same negativity and stuff. And I'm human, man. I make mistakes. I get sucked into the negativity, you know, when I cover an Xbox game, and you know, I got the PlayStation fans or whatever showing up to tell me how the game is trash or it's garbage or something like that. And then it kind of forces me, not forces me, but then it, like, I think about that, man, because I'm human. And so I'll get on the PlayStation and I'll play the game, and this is my honest opinion about PlayStation and Xbox games. They're so similar, it's not even funny. It's not even funny. Both of them have graphical things that I can nitpick. Both of them have low resolutions and stuff that I can nitpick. Both of them have 30 frames per second that I can nitpick. Neither one of them are better than the others. Some of the Sony stories, at least this generation, like PlayStation definitely took it home last generation in terms of quality games and content and all of that. But this generation, yeah, I mean, like, I've yet to play a actual first-party PlayStation game this generation that's blowing my socks off. Like, seriously, they had to remaster and remake The Last of Us Part 1 for me to be like, yeah, this was good. So when I get the PlayStation guys coming to the channel and nitpicking every single Xbox thing that because in my honest opinion, Xbox is knocking it out of the park game-wise this generation for me. They simply are. They're bringing out cool stuff like Flight Simulator, Starfield, Grounded, all of these games, Forza Horizon 5, like all of these games, you know, Halo Infinite. Like, I was never really that big into Halo until Halo Infinite. And it's like all of these games that I've been able to enjoy and experience and have fun and create content with the Xbox games has been incredible. But on the PlayStation side, it just hasn't been... It just hasn't, like, I've been there for every PlayStation generation. Always super, super hyped at the beginning of these generations for PlayStation, and they usually carry it through. And this generation, man, has just not delivered on that same hype. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older, and, you know, I'm not as easily entertained anymore like I used to be. But I know that's not true because I'm playing games on Xbox that are 100% bringing the immersion that I'm like, whoa, this is gaming. I love this. This is what I want more of. And, you know, they say if you want more of something, support it. So I do. I support Game Pass. I support Xbox. I even support PlayStation, man. I want more cool VR experiences. So I bought a VR. I bought a PSVR 2. I mean, it is great. When you're playing PSVR 2, it really is great. But I mean, like, the content so far is still, in my opinion, just still kind of almost there. It's almost like, yeah, maybe we can do something with VR, but some of it just feels like tech demo still, and I want, like, that full-fledged, you know, experience that definitely Gran Turismo brings. But I have my little quirks and issues with that, but they're not bad. I mean, it is playable, but it's, you know, more of a hassle to get everything set up, and then once I'm playing it, all I can think about is wanting to play Assetto Corsa Competizione. So I'm like, I wish this would come to VR so I could play it all the time. But here's the thing, man. Like, I don't make a ton of money on YouTube. I don't make enough money to justify the money that I spend on YouTube, man. And I want to just be able to make content and have fun. Like, I mean, it's to a point where the constant bickering back and forth between the Xbots and the ponies, it gets to a point where it's so annoying that it's like, man, I just want to, like, quit reading my comment section. But then I love to interact with the community, so I'm just like, man, and like, creating content every day is very time consuming. And I work 7 days a week doing this YouTube thing, and it's just me. I don't have, like, an editor. I don't have anybody, you know, doing anything other than, you know, like, maybe giving me like content ideas in the comment section and stuff. I don't have a whole lot of, you know, like I don't have this like giant support group, man. This is all me. This is me doing what I want to do and loving video games. And so when I get over there on Twitter, I know this is kind of all over the place, guys, but when I get over on Twitter and like YouTube and stuff, and I start to see like, cause I looked up, you know, I wanted to kind of see what other people, you know, reviews were saying about Starfield. And like, it's just like bang, 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 like everybody complaining about the most nonsensical stuff in the world when it comes to a game like Starfield with the overall scope that Starfield has. I'm pretty impressed. I mean, for $107, that's what I paid for it. $99. I could have bought just the standard version or whatever. But for what I paid for it and the experience that I've had with Starfield, man, like I kind of feel like I ripped Bethesda off, to be completely honest with you. I mean, like just and I did this, man. I explored like one world, one open world, like just one of the planets, you know, like New Atlantis. Well, I mean, there was another one too, like these planets. I land on them, and I go out there and I start exploring, and I start doing things, and I'm like, wow, man, like this world is like bigger than most other games, and there's 1,000 of these. And I'm thinking that in my head, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I even did a live stream last night, you know, and I was just going to these different planets, and I'm just checking them out, and I'm looking at them, and like in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, this is cool. I mean, they look just as good as any other open world game. You know what I mean? Like vegetation, ground quality, texture work, tree quality, skybox quality. Like all of these worlds look just as good as any other open world game that I've played. And if you've been with the channel for a while, you know that like open world games are like my thing. Like I love open world games, and I'm sitting here and I'm just looking at all these like these snow planets. I landed on the North Pole of one, and it was all snowy and just like cold. And then I landed on a different spot on that same planet in the live stream, and it was all like grass and like the rock formation. I was like, oh my gosh, are you freaking kidding me? Like, and these tiles, these squares are so big that like you can walk for a pretty good amount of time, like 40 minutes or whatever, you know, and you could just walk and like have fun and stuff. And you know, some of them like the way the gravity affects you, you're like walking, you know, like regular, but then like on some worlds you got like less gravity, so you can like jump like really high, and then you could use your booster pack and just keep going and going and going. I was on this one moon, and I just start climbing this mountain. I'm like just shooting myself up because the gravity's kind of low, and then I was like, and I'm just gonna keep going, so I keep going and going and going. I got so high with that booster pack that I could look in the one direction and I could see where the map was like, where like I got so high, the illusion of the open world started to fall apart. Like you could see where the map was starting to turn into like a square and kind of slope down. I was getting so high, just booster packing up there. It was absolutely incredible. And I mean, like, there's always things like that in video games. Like, you can pick out your best good favorite game, and I guarantee you can find something that could break that game. So when people come out and they just complain about like, there's, oh my gosh, like Starfield is so magnificent. I have found, like, I feel like I've barely scratched the surface, because when I talk to other people and they find things, and I'm just thinking, I'm just like, wow, man, like that's cool, man. I can't wait to try that. And you know, just like seeing other planets that other people have found, I'm just like, wow, this is incredible, man. Like I cannot wait to find that planet. And that's what drives me for Starfield, man. Like I had the intention of playing that game as an explorer from the very beginning. So I mean, nothing's changed with that. And to me, Starfield is a game that has a ton of content. Like a ton of content. Like the procedural generated stuff, I'm very impressed with. I'm very impressed with how good that turned out. But when you get to the handcrafted stuff, that all looks really good too, man. I think it's just like with New Atlantis, they just need different trees and like the cityscape, and everything would probably be much better. If they just had like regular trees there, it would look so much better to me. But you know, the tree, like, I'm not going to tell them how to change their vision. It's one of those things where it's like I've got multiple other worlds that I can explore that, you know, and that's not even, I mean, like one side of New Atlantis looks way cool. It's got like these cliffs and everything. I'm impressed with this game, man. And when I see these negative comments from people that are, it's like, do you guys even play video games? I wonder that. Do you even play video games? Or do you guys just play Twitter, man? Or YouTube comment section? And that's what I feel like, man. Like I could understand like if somebody bought a PlayStation 5 and they wanted to play Starfield, like, yeah, dude, my heart goes out to them. I want everybody to be able to experience Starfield, no matter where you're at, no matter what you're gaming on. I would not lose a wink of sleep if Starfield went to PlayStation. I would not be upset. I wouldn't cry about it. I wouldn't make a video about it. Like nothing. I would just be happy that other people got to play and experience this incredible game. Another thing that I was looking at when I was, you know, I mean, because it's not always the PlayStation guys. The Xbox guys are just as bad. I've seen over there on Twitter, you know, Baldur's Gate 3, how it's running at 972p at 60 frames a second on a PlayStation 5, man. And I'm thinking, I'm like, do these guys even realize what it takes to run this game at 4K over 60 frames a second? I mean, I can get 4K 60 with my PC, and like it feels kind of heavy, you know. I get like 80 frames a second at 4K. At 1440p, like I can get way high frame rate. But the thing is like these games are, for some reason, man, they are far more heavy than they have ever been. And like these consoles, man, like I don't know. I first of all, I don't feel like, I mean, I learned very quickly in this channel, like after a few games came out, I started seeing this pattern that like 1080p was going to be a thing again this generation. So I've kind of just moved back away from the whole console war stuff, because it is not even worth engaging in, because no matter what you say, people are going to be able to come back and be like, yeah, well, you said this then, and it's like, yeah, dude, like I believed that then. Like I really did think that the Xbox was going to deliver 4K 60. Like I did. I came into this generation after Xbox One X and PS4 Pro thinking, all right, cool, we're going to get 4K 60. This is double the power. We should easily get that. And now that you realize that, like, dang, dude, this generation games have already knocked my 3080 out of the freaking park, man. They already shut that thing down real quick, and I was like, whoa, man, that wasn't cool. I seen a 3080 go from a 4K monster all the way down to like a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X. I mean, they can literally compete head to head almost. I know, NVIDIA bros. I know it's always better on the PC. Like, I get it. I'm just being metaphorical right now, just kind of, you know, just saying that, like, yeah, dude, like these new games that are coming out, for some reason, they are really not nice to. They're heavy, and maybe that's by design. Maybe that's to sell more graphics cards, whatever. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. So I mean, it's less about the platform that we play the games on now as it is about the games. Like I care about games, and I want to continue to make good content for all the PlayStation guys, for all the Xbox guys, for all the PC guys, man. Because I'm never going to turn my back on PlayStation. I'm never going to turn my back on Xbox. I'm never going to turn my back on PC or Nintendo. I'm a gamer, man. That's what I do. The games will always matter more than the plastic box or PC that I'm running them on. They will always be the star of the show on this channel. They always will be. New tech comes and goes. I mean, this Asus ROG Ally, I mean, this thing is cool. You can run around with it and play it, but then at the same time, it's also like way overpriced, man. Like the power you get from this thing should be like $400, man, $300. You know what I mean? Like, it should be accessible, and not just be like, I mean, it's like they're overcharging you for the cool factor. Nintendo Switch came out. That thing was $300. Got a better battery life. Got tons of exclusives. Asus ROG comes out. It's clearly more powerful, but it's essentially, yeah, you're paying for a cool factor, man. Like, that's all you're paying for. What else? So yeah, man, when I look back across this whole channel and everything, and I just see so much hate and so much negativity when it comes to video games, and then I look at the content that I make and then I put out on my channel, and I see, like, the clicks, and the how much interaction I get with those, and how many people are viewing those, versus somebody like Dreamcast guy that just comes out and throws up all over everything. And he's he's getting tons and tons and tons of views, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, man, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong, man? Am I doing wrong? And that weighs on me. That weighs on me a lot, man, because I know I can make better content than Dreamcast guy. I know I don't have to sit here and trash every single game that comes out just to get clicks, and I don't want to be like those guys, man. I don't want to be like those guys. But at the end of the day, I would just as soon quit doing YouTube than become like that. To be completely honest with you, I would just as soon quit and quit doing this and start enjoying my games again. I want to be able to enjoy my games. I don't want to have to sit here and argue with every little troll that comes along about 892 or 862p, 30 frames a second. What game is better? They don't like a game because something, whatever. I don't care what your reasons are for not liking Starfield if you haven't played it. Like, I don't care. I really don't care, man. If you played Starfield and you have, like, genuine things that, like, that like you would like to express, cool, express those, but don't be rude about it. There's some things that I wish were in Starfield, like when you're on a moon or something and you jump up and you shoot your gun. I kind of wish you would fly backwards a little bit. I wish that force, that I wish that discharge of the weapon would push you back. I mean, it would be cool. Like, I would like to see something like that. That would be absolutely cool. To be able to use your firearm to propel you in an opposite direction. I think that kind of stuff would be absolutely incredible. It's little things like that I think that, we could be constructive when it comes to these video games and be like, yeah, let's be constructive about it. Like, give them ideas, or like, hey guys, can you make this happen? And like, there's probably reasons. I mean, they probably played around with it, but there were probably combat reasons that made it more of that would make it harder for that to be there. But I would like to have that. I would like to have that as an option. Like if we go back to God of War Ragnarok, I think my criticisms of God of War Ragnarok were fair. I liked the game. The game was beautiful. It had beautiful graphics, but I just don't feel like the story gave me the desired outcome that I feel like Kratos deserved, or that the God of War series is built upon. I feel like they yeah, I don't know. I don't like the overall way that ended up, and I feel like it was the weakest one in the series. And so I feel like that was pretty constructive. I've got, a lot of people that agree with that. It's like, yeah, man, I mean, it's not that they like, I mean, it's not terrible. I gave it an 8. Like, it's not terrible the way they did it, but for somebody like me that's played all of the God of Wars, I mean, it's like, no, I mean, like, it doesn't have to, like, be the same, but it should carry the same weight. You know what I mean? Like, it should just be like, wow, man, Ragnarok should have been a massive freaking all-out. Like, it should have been, like, very cool. But I kind of feel like Sony Santa Monica, fell victim to the overall COVID thing, just like everybody else did. And I feel like they weren't able to fully realize their vision for that game. And I wish they would have taken the time. I wish they would have taken the time to really craft that experience. It kind of just, toward the end of the game, just kind of felt like it was cut apart, and they filled it with other stuff. So I don't know. If that was their full vision for it, then obviously they've lost touch with what the God of War community is. If it was, you know, something down to, you know, time constraints or money or budget or something, then yeah, I get it, man. Like I completely get it. I hope that they have everything they need for the next version of God of War. Like I hope they do, because I want to be able to play God of War and still love that series like I always have. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I know that this is just another one of them whiny long videos that's already freaking 25 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one short. I appreciate everybody that watches this channel. And I do. I really am grateful and humbled by the support that I've gotten from the community. But I am. It is starting to wear on me, man. Like it is starting to wear on me. The overall negativity for these games, man. Like I think it's too much. You know, I feel like, you know, like we overhype ourselves, and then when something doesn't, you know, sit right, then there's always this room to complain about things, and I just don't want it to always be like that, man. I want like everybody to be happy when it comes to games, and I feel like there's people out there that base their whole freaking thing on trying to find ways to be negative about gaming to influence others, and it sucks, man. Like it really sucks. So all right, my friends, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate this, and I'm sorry for the clickbait title.